ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Altered Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Hello!
Hello.
How are you doing?
I seem to be doing well this evening.
Why are you doing well is the real question.
Interesting thought.
There are so many reasons for doing well beyond the normal scope of your everyday Thursday.
You know why I am doing well? Because I have both a Mountain Dew and a Code Red to splice into one cup.
See, here's my problem with the way you do your dew.
Why? What?
Because there's already water that has melted into the cup. And when I drink my dew, it must be a wholly...
Oh my God.
There you go. It cannot be watered down by the lowly water.
It's called condensation.
It
happens, especially in the South.
I don't live in the South. I live in the North.
North of what? The perimeter?
North of the equator. Hello?
We all do. Well, not everybody. I mean, I'm guessing that everyone who's in the crowd right now is above the equator. The equator. The equator.
The equator. The thing that equates the people.
The equalizer.
Is the equator the equalizer of mankind?
No.
Yes.
But Logan Ninefingers is the great leveler.
Oh gosh.
Sorry, Joe Abercrombie, his first Law series, good.
Great.
But dear love of all that is holy, you son of a bitch, how the hell do you end a trilogy that way?
Does the way he ended it make you want to now go read the next book to be like, WTF, mate? And OMG.
No, because I know that the next book is like in the universe, but has nothing to do with the main characters.
Does it though?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Well, there's recognizable characters that are in the side books. However, it's not Logan. It's not Baez. It's not what's her name? Maljen.
Because there are other books that do include some of the characters that you speak of. I'm just saying.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to say anything because spoilers are terrible. Hello, Toscard.
What's up, Toscard? Hello, welcome to the show. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, as we previously stated, this is the Thursday Night Hangout. I, of course, am your host, Charlie. I'm joined once again by the prolific comer himself, Zealeus.
What's up?
Zealeus will be our co-host for this evening. Now, there is, on occasion, other co-hosts who may appear. I actually almost got an additional co-host this evening, but unfortunately, he's on a conference call for another 20 minutes. So he's probably not going to be
Was that the dude who lives by here?
Jason.
Jason,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
I'm like the worst person ever with names.
All right, so anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump right into the first topic that I'd like to talk about. No, you're not changing.
I stopped
All
the
right,
mouse.
the first topic that I want to bring up is a question that was presented to me, and that is, does digital games have a shelf life? Now, we understand that when you talk about physical games, there's going to be a point where you can't buy the physical game in store anymore. I'm sure that you could probably find like a specialty store and buy it. But is there a digital shelf life for games as well?
I'm not sure what you mean exactly.
All right, so like let's say I am a developer.
You are a developer.
I'm a developer, and I made this like awesome word search game for the iPhone, okay?
Okay.
And I release it onto the iTunes App Store.
Sure.
Does that game have a shelf life? At some point, am I, the developer, going to remove it from being able to be purchased?
That already actually happens on the App Store. Because with the most recent iOS 11, is all of your apps had to be updated to the 64-bit app version, which have been apps that have been updated in roughly 3 years, where no longer able to be used on the newest version of the iOS of your iPhone. So some games, like for instance Nibble Quest, a game I love to play, I can no longer play on my iPhone. So to answer your question, yes, you can find it, but games you cannot download anymore because they're technically not able to be played on your iPhone anymore. And some games, especially like if they have server requirements and they're online games and they're requiring bandwidth of that developer, in that case, yes, they can be shut down. There are some games I remember playing on my iPhone that like don't exist on the App Store anymore because the developer removes it. And That would probably be because, let's be honest, they no longer make money for the developer. It's what it comes down to at a certain point. They just,
Okay, so JPKs, those are Java packages. Those would be more of that would be Android. When it comes to iOS, you're in a fucking walled garden, okay? And
jailbreak, bro.
Right. However, one of the things, and Zealeus is right about this, when there was an upgrade that was required, a lot of the older games didn't translate over there. So what happened was any individual who previously had purchased the game still had access to said game. However, that game was no longer playable or downloadable on the App Store because it didn't meet those requirements. So it's kind of like set this weird ass, like, you've got this amazing game. It's awesome, but it was released quite a few years ago. So it's up to the developer to update it. However, you're just like, but it's such a good game. As the consumer, you're like, why would you do this to yourself?
Well, think about it. Is at a certain point, it's no longer monetarily feasible or advisable for developers to update their games because they know it's not going to bring in money. And you can estimate, let's just say, I'm just throwing out numbers here. Mm-hmm. If you can, look in, the Magic Bean spreadsheet, it cost me $10,000 to update my app, even though in the last 4 years, I've only brought in $8,000 in revenue on the game. Does it really make financial sense to spend that $10,000 to pay a developer to update my game, which chances are, even over the lifespan of the game, it's not going to bring in that $10,000 to recoup my cost? Doesn't make sense to do it. The answer is probably no. The other thing you also see is, especially in older games, is developers go kerplunk. They go to business, and all of a sudden you have video games that, phenomenal as they may be, now there's questions like, well, how does this game get updated? Because now you don't even know who the developer is. Who do the intellectual rights belong to? You see that a lot, especially like with older DOS-based games. Well,
DOS? What's DOS?
There's a lot of
What's this word? DOS?
I have to sneeze. Thank you.
He always has to sneeze.
There's a lot of great classic games out there that you just can't play anymore.
Okay. Chosker, you could, they stated, you can do the Disney Vault strategy where you can offer it for a limited time and that creates an artificial demand. That works with movies. However, games, it's a little bit different because when or if you re-release that game, individuals would anticipate, would require that if there was something broken previously, that it would be automatically fixed and that there would be an enhancement to it. Whereas a movie, you might get a remaster or just might be able to regain the ability to buy the game. Sam Grizzle, at some point, the developers have already stolen everyone's personal data. They probably lose interest after that. Potentially, yes. But so the game that actually kind of started this thought process for me is a game called Under a Spell. It's a word game where you basically given letters in certain patterns, and you've got to connect adjacent letters together to create words. And you've got these blocks that basically tell you how long the word that they're looking for is. So if it's a 4 block, you're trying to find a 4-letter word, and it's a very specific word for each one. Because at the end of the puzzle, you basically clear the table of all the letters, okay? So it's very specific words. Now I went on to, so I was playing it, my sister came in town, and I was like, hey, you should play this game. She's like, I can't find it on the App Store. I'm like, what the shit? So I Google it. I go to their website. The developer is alive and well. It's called Happy Magenta is the name of the developer. And so on their website, it actually states, you can get this on Android or iOS. So I clicked on it and it, of course, reopened on my phone, and it reopens the App Store. He goes, nope, sorry, not available in this market. I was like, that's kind of weird. So I was... many of you might not know this, but I go to a chiropractor every other week to help with issues. And when I was at my chiropractor, I was like, hey, riddle me this. How crazy would it be if a game that's popular, that's solid, were to just disappear off an app store? And he goes, oh, that's weird. Tell me the name of the game. So I told him, because he has an Android phone. Okay. Sure enough, it's not on the Android marketplace either. However, if you go to the website, once again, there's a link that goes right to this thing and goes, boop, not available.
That's very strange.
It is very strange. It's kind of like
And how old is this game?
I will tell you. I will look it up.
I think of like the game I brought up, which is Nimble Quest. Like that game's a number of years old. So like that game's probably already reached its revenue capacity. So in that case, I can understand the developer not updating the app because it's already got the money out of the customer base it's going to. And that's what I'm curious about the age of this game. If it's still a young game, in that case, it's like, why would it not be on the store anymore? That doesn't make much sense at all.
I don't know. All I could tell you.
When did you install it?
Oh, I have no idea. I grabbed it like a year or two at least ago.
Oh.
But it's a solid game. It's a good game. It really bugs me when you find that game and you get into it. And then maybe you run into that person who's got the exact same mindset. You're like, dude, you got to check out this game. And all of a sudden, it's gone.
Well, if you think about it, though, like we've lamented a number of times on the show, the online-only games. Because one of the fear with online-only games, like let's just take Diablo 3 as an instance.
Do we have to? No, I'm just kidding. We can do it. Yeah, no, go.
Yeah, well, it's online-only. You have to have internet connectivity.
Oh, I'm very aware.
Yes, and Blizzard has said that, if we ever go under something, we'll make it available so it's offline. Okay, whatever. But now with your iPhone, though, let's just say, hypothetically speaking, Apple shuts down someday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now...
Would never happen, but okay.
Well, it would not happen, I know, but just go with it.
Unless Google buys Apple.
Now, what happens to... Well, I think Apple's actually worth more than Google, but whatever.
Really?
They have more money.
I'll Google it!
They have more money to spend. They have their cash reserves.
Keep going.
So, what happens if Apple shuts down? Do you no longer have access to any of your games? And that's definitely an issue with this. Like, worse than online-only games, because now you're tied to a digital marketplace with no other way to access your games. So, as Charles...
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Google is worth more than Apple. Google is currently worth $498 billion versus Apple's $495 billion. It's $3 billion more! $3!
That could change in the next hour.
I know. Chosker says, imagine a Skyrim-style game with a tenth the quest, but you can only log in to play for a month at a time. And next time around, it has the previous quest plus the new batch. That would make you prioritize because of your limited time. That's called episodic content, I think.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Well, in the limited time to play a month, that's a lot of your mobile games where you're limited by energy. Where there's that built-in mechanism where you can only play so much unless, of course, you spend money extra on the game.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I'm making the mic sound a little weird, but
no, you're just making me nervous. I think you're about to start doing something very sketchy on the show.
The problem is like because of the humidity, the collar of my shirt's starting to droop, so I'm having to tie the mic into my necklace into my shirt, so I don't my shirt's not turning. It's a cheap shirt, okay? It's a Walmart special, okay? My shirt's starting to become a V-neck as we talk because of the humidity. Anyways,
you need a dehumidifier.
I do have one. It's over there. It's on the other side. But that ain't going to help because I schwetz like crazy.
What like crazy?
Schwetz. Sweat.
Sweat. Oh, sweat. Thank you for speaking English.
Schwet, dude. Schwet. Okay, so... So let's go with energy. Ladies and gentlemen of the crowd, how many people play games that are based off of energy? What are we talking? It's probably either in Facebook or, all right, who the fuck scored? Who's playing? Who's playing right now? It's not Vegas.
No, isn't tonight Washington in Tampa Bay? Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Was it Ovechkin? Was it only the Great Eight?
As soon as Sam Grizzle says something about sports, I know it's hockey. I know that hockey has started.
And since Boston's not in, Charlie doesn't know.
Shut the fuck up! It's not my problem that one of the guys continues to lick people.
I agree. I want Ovi to win. I just like
Ovi is the Dan Marino of the NHL.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I'm assuming that your energy-based game is probably your phone, right? Because you probably don't play Facebook games, right?
I don't think I've ever played Facebook.
Well, I wouldn't say that because there's a lot of games that are on the phone that are on Facebook, right? Okay, so like, what kind of games are you talking about?
Recently I've been playing.
Is it a puzzle-based game?
No, it's like a shooter game.
Okay, shooter game.
So basically, go on quest. Like you go on missions, and you have 10 energy, and each mission costs 10 energy.
Okay.
So you go through X number of quests, and your energy is now empty. Is what a lot of them do. And then inevitably, though, I get to my energy runs out, and I don't want to spend money, so I just basically delete the game off my phone now. Is usually what ends up happening for these games.
So, for me personally, I play a ton of puzzle-based games.
Oh, you're a puzzler.
I love puzzle games because it makes my brain go wee. I guess I don't know. Anyways, Farmville. I'm not even touching Farmville.
Farmville? No, Farmville doesn't even exist. It's like a blot in my memory. It's a giant black hole.
Candy Crush. True. Candy Crush is an energy hog.
I saw an advertisement for Candy Crush the other day. I was like, what?
No. There's like, well, they've got like spin-offs now. It's like Soda Crush and all this stuff. But anyways, Candy Crush is a good example because it's a puzzle. It is a puzzle-based game. A lot of these puzzle-based games, and this is what irks me. Maybe I'm probably in the majority, but I don't. Whatever. When you have energy-based games where it's a puzzle, like you try to defeat a puzzle to go to the next level. In my honest opinion, I do believe that if you successfully beat that level, you should not lose that energy. You should be allowed to continue to utilize said energy until you lose. Because let's be honest, the games are rigged for you to lose. So you're gonna lose anyways, and maybe you advance one extra level than you could have. So, WTF?
But that's not.
God dang, that's quick!
Wow, man, what's going on? But if you go on a quest in life, it's not like you regain your energy regardless of whether or not you do good or bad. You might reap some other kind of reward, like a monetary reward.
Let's think about it. If this was a quest in life, okay? If you fail, you're probably dead. So you can't go on any more quests. So, ba-bam!
So what about a 5K, right? You go on a 5K, and you might not win the 5K, but you still expend relationshiply to your own maximum energy the same number of energy.
You probably didn't if you didn't win. You didn't try hard enough.
Because everybody has
Damn it, do it again!
Capacities. Like I spent my maximum energy in running a 5K, but I still came in dead last.
But who plays games for realism?
I'm just saying, I try to relate the realism of my real.
I know, but the thing is, the thing that really bothers me is that you're getting penalized either way. For failure or for success, you're getting kicked in the nuts and being told you need to pay money if you really want to play this game. And that to me is a total turnoff. I don't want to play the game anymore.
Because when you lose energy by succeeding at the quest, and you get that great feeling of winning, now you want to pay money to feel that winning. I'm full of shit.
Based on that 5K logic, you would start with -10 energy.
I probably did, to be fair.
No, I mean, look, there's a ton of different puzzle games. I do play a lot of Facebook games. There's a ton of different puzzle games out there. And the vast majority of them, thankfully, actually it's probably because they're the ones I'm playing. They instead of saying energy, they go with the connotation of lives. Okay? And with lives, it's a little bit more easier to understand. Yeah, if you win, you continue to have the same amount of lives, right?
Okay, I'll buy that.
So for me, in my honest opinion, if it's not one of those like crazy, you need 12 energy to complete this thing. If you're doing a 1-to-1 ratio, I don't think that you should, especially if you're like maximum is always like 5 or 6.
Okay.
That's total crap.
Like Mario Brothers. Like if you beat level 1-1, you lost a life for beating the level. You're like,
yeah. You would get to the first toad who says, "The princess is in another castle. Sorry, you'll have to wait 2 hours before playing the next level."
To jump, press up. To move forward, press right. Good job, you went forward. Now press left to go the other way.
That cost you 2 energy. Thank you for playing the tutorial.
In order to get and there's also blocks where you can get bigger, or you can pay $1 to get a mushroom at any time you want for each mushroom, or $5 for a fire mushroom.
Right, but that's the thing that, in my honest opinion, if the thing is, if you allow for a user to play, okay, if you allow them to truly get themselves engrossed by playing the longer you get to play as long as you succeed. I understand, like, if you hit a fucking wall and you lose all your lives, yeah, the penalty is you have to wait around for lives. But if I'm succeeding, why punch me in the face, go, by the way, congratulations, you're doing awesome. Now you're going to have to wait 4 hours before playing the game. I hope you don't find another game to play.
But the problem is it's a double whammy of losing. Not only did I lose and got my face punched, now I know I need to grind. I have to also wait time to be able to grind in the first place. So it's like a double face punch.
No. If you're having to deal with grind that also deals with energy and it's limited energy and the recovery rate is bullshit, then just drop that motherfucker like a bad habit. Seriously?
Because they want one thing and one thing only out of you.
Money!
And usually it's a casino.
True. No, here's a cool thing. Okay, so there's a game. We're not being sponsored by it, but I have to talk about it. There's a game out there.
Can we be sponsored by it?
I wish. I'll reach out to the developer. We'll find out. There is a game out there that I've been playing on Facebook, and it is probably, in my opinion, one of the fairest games I have played. It's called Everwing. Okay, and it's literally a top-down shooter. You're going to utilize your mouse to basically bounce back and forth, and it's a constant. It's on
Facebook.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's basically going from top to bottom. So literally, you're just controlling the bottom. You're controlling your shooter, and it's not like you're clicking on it. It's automatic shoot. Okay, you're just trying to dodge obstacles and out of all that stuff. You can play that mode as many times as you want and power up yourself and also your minions, your draglings or your sidekicks. But there's also like bosses that you have to attempt. Now the bosses require energy to fight. So at maximum, I think you get like 6 attempts at the boss, and then you have to wait some time. However, during that wait period, you can continue to play the game. Also, there's also these quests that you could send your extra units to go power up those units and gain more gold.
Interesting sounding.
I'm like, why the fuck isn't everyone doing this? I understand that you want that demand. You've got that was the toilet gaming scenario where you want to have these bite-sized pieces so that people are like, oh, I'm engaged, but I'm only going to be playing while I'm on the shitter because that's probably the only time I've got.
Well,
however, sometimes the shit takes longer than usual. And to be able to literally just play constantly until you're done, it's not, for the love of God, dude. It's not like shitting right now. Anyways, I find it refreshing that a game has, if you've got the time, you can continuously do that, rinse and repeat, or if you have if you're looking for the big gain, because when you beat the boss, you get a shit ton of gold, you can get a shit ton of like honor that you can use for other stuff, or you could get a dragon egg that unlocks new dragons. I think that's awesome. Choskar says Final Fantasy Xvius is an iPhone app that works similar to that and is really cool. I heard that that's really like it's a money hog. I don't know.
The last one
was there another Final? Is there like
Brave Exodus is when I played. I played Final Fantasy Brave Exodus.
I know there's a couple Final Fantasies out there that literally it's like, pay me money if you want to play with the characters you want to play with.
I feel like there's a new Final Fantasy game like every 2 months or so.
Well, since Square Enix has stopped making console games for a bit.
Well, when you have a 36-hour tutorial, you can wait until the next iteration.
32, man. I skimmed it down to 32.
Whoa!
Go!
No! I want Washington to win. Sam Gizzle,
it costs
break him.
$3.99. Okay, all right. Let's since we're talking about cost of games, there are several different, especially on a mobile platform. There are several different types of games. There's the free to play with in-app purchases. You have your base purchase and then in-app purchases, or you have your one-time purchase. And of course, if there's any like additional, it's like if there's an extension to the game, then you pay like a DLC fee.
Yep.
Or you just straight off one. So my honest opinion, I love that there's these, you pay one time and you get the whole game.
Yep.
But to be honest with you, as much as I would say, I'm like, everybody should do that. It's not logical especially on the mobile platforms. The price point is so low.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm okay with, as long as the in-app purchases aren't just like, by the way, you can't really do anything past like 20 minutes because.
Yes, I agree. So it's Metallica, as I'm going to call them, and then you have the shitheads that acquire you a one-time purchase, okay, but then they want you to buy stuff in game. Yes, that drives me nuts, and that's one thing I always look for in the reviews. So if I see a game and it has good reviews, the first thing I'm going to do is look at the reviews, and I'm going to see like, okay, the game costs, let's just say $3.99 to buy. I'm really going to look through reviews, especially the non-5-star reviews, to see what people have to say about in-app purchases. And if I see a game that's, let's just say, more than $1, and I see, oh, requires further in-app purchases to kind of do the in-game stuff, I'm going to be like, nope. Now, the exception is like I'm playing a game called Land of Livia, where you have chapters. So it's
How much have you paid?
$8.
No,
but it's like, so you get the intro for free.
Okay.
And then if you like it, and there's no like microtransactions, it's just, you can't like buy your items.
So after the intro and you pay money, does that first payment actually give you
more stuff?
The amount of the intro plus more?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
So you have an intro, and then you have chapter 1, and after you beat chapter 1, you can pay another $4 to open up chapter 2. But it's purely up to you. Like there's no other gates or locks.
It's episodic. It's the episodic.
Yeah, it is episodic, and I like that. I'm like, okay, I can deal with that, especially because you have the intro to play, and it's a good chunk of an intro. You actually get a feeling for what's going on. And I like that because, like, okay, I like the game, I support it, I'm going to pay it because it's a worthwhile game to play.
The reason why I asked that, I know it sounds really random why I said, it's like you get the intro to the game, but if you pay money, do you get more? Because there was a game that I played for the PC that the first chapter was free, okay? Unfortunately, the entire chapter took a total of 45 minutes. And then the second chapter is $5.99. It was 42 minutes long.
Yeah,
I was like, you can't do that.
That's not
you can't. You give people a free sample, okay? And to be honest with you, a free sample around an hour, that's cool.
That's fine.
That's fine. However, if you're going to make an individual pay for the next chapter, it's got to be at least 2 hours worth of content.
Especially for $5.
It's got to be double. It's got to. If you're putting price tag, I don't care what the fucking price tag is. You've got to expect that the gamer is going to have double the amount of the free stuff for paying.
And it's also an expectation. Like, I don't even think about it when I purchased the app,
MC
right?
story mode? MC.
I don't know what MC is. Metallica?
No.
Metalcore?
No.
Minecraft? Is it Minecraft?
Minecraft? Anyway, I know Tales of the Borderlands, that's Telltale, and I feel so bad for them because they really screwed the pooch up because they spread themselves way too thin. Minecraft, yeah. Minecraft has story mode?
Yep.
I was so busy just digging up dirt, and I think I ended up with like 500 pieces of dirt and maybe like 2 pieces of wood. And I was like, fuck this shit, I'm going somewhere else.
I played Minecraft when it was like in beta back in the PC, and
I paid for it.
I didn't understand. I'm like, why?
I paid to get into the beta. I've got a key somewhere, but I'm just like,
I'd rather build with like real Legos and robots.
Seriously, just give me a huge ass like bucket or dumpster worth of Legos. I will build some crazy ass shit.
You need to do then?
What?
You need to coach your child's junior FLL league next year. It's Legos with robots. I think you'd actually really enjoy it. I'm serious.
Go convince my wife.
No, I'm talking to you.
No, go convince my wife.
I'm convincing you.
You convinced me.
So what does she have to do with it?
She's the gatekeeper. Are you shitting me?
Well,
no.
Your own game.
Happy wife, happy life, moron.
Happy kid, happy wife, happy life.
No, that's not how it works. I can give my kid candy, and he's super duper happy. My wife will be pissed.
Yes, but Legos are educational, and it increases brain power, so they can make lots of money so you guys can retire well.
Okay, so Minecraft, the story mode, is that Telltale's like episodic Minecraft? Because I feel like they did that.
I have no idea.
So it's like, it's not actually Minecraft, but it's kind of like an offset where you have like, the entire adventure is based around a single individual. Kind of like The Walking Dead. It's not based off any of the main characters. However, there is a character put in the universe that basically has those kind of like morality decisions that are thrown in front of you. It is a Telltale. Why did I think Telltale did it?
I have no idea, because they do other episodic maybe.
Well, they did too many. Telltale. Telltale.
I like Telltale better.
Oh, for love of God.
Rhymes, it's a Telltale.
Ba-bam!
It'll fit right into a convention with tails.
Speaking of which, ladies and gentlemen, MomoCon here in Atlanta, Georgia, will be starting next Thursday, a week from today. Tickets are still available for those out there who want to get them.
So yes, I definitely enjoy MomoCon. I'll be looking forward to it. Not sure when I'm going to make it there because I have work that I cannot get out of because it is the end of the school year.
Yes, we have quite a few I've got quite a few curveballs, ladies and gentlemen, and that is, I don't know if anyone's is actually going to be my co-host.
So when are the panels? Do you know for sure?
10 p.m. on Thursday and 1 p.m. on Friday.
That's great timings. 10 p.m. Thursday.
And 1 p.m. Friday. Yeah, there is some. Yeah, Telltale did do a Minecraft story mode.
Will
8 episodes bi-monthly.
Will Watkid be there?
Yes.
Any chance he could be your co-host?
He will attempt to at least do he's going to try.
Okay.
But worst case scenario, he's going to try to get his brother in there. Worst case scenario, maybe Bobby Blackwolf will be around.
I like Bobby. He's a good guy.
He is a unique individual.
He knows things.
He does. If you want VR, he's got stereo vision. That's why he knows so much about VR. I was just informed of that. I thought was someone else. Telltale literally has the marketplace cornered for episodic content.
Is Telltale still open?
Yeah, no, it is. However, they had to lay off a huge chunk of their staff because, well, they stretched themselves too thin because they're taking on too many projects. And also, apparently, it became like a crazy-ass place to work for because the level of expectations was so astronomical that people are literally having mental breakdowns.
Yes. Well, it seems like that's kind of an issue in the video game industry as a whole, where the burnout and turnover are so incredibly high, and part of the reason is because the higher ups, the powers that be, know that there's such a large incoming crop of young, fresh, excited kids.
Potentially.
That even if they burn out half their workforce, there's another half of the workforce to just hire tomorrow for less money.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give away a trade secret. Ladies and gentlemen, the vast majority of the game industry is as awesome and cool as it would be to to design a game. Your chance of actually designing a game you want to is next to none. On top of that, you're going to also have to deal with the fact that if you're in a big company, chances are they're going to burn you and turn you simply because they need to get this shit out as fast as possible. They don't give a shit about your well-being. They just want the money. Of course, there's been several lawsuits to try to combat this, but at the end of the day, this practice is still very well in existence. The biggest problem, though, is that when you look at what's happening in the game industry for AAA titles, you will see, unfortunately, that there is this shift that's been going on for a while to more of a multiplayer centric game instead of a single player centric game. You will notice that a lot of the single player games do now have multiplayer pieces. And what those developers are trying to do is they're trying to gauge to see if they can release a game in that universe that's only multiplayer. Because this is going to sound crazy, but it's cheaper to have the multiplayer game than a single player game. Or maybe it's not so crazy. The breakdown basically goes as this. If you are going, like you mean the first and second playthroughs?
Yeah, he's talking to me.
Oh, okay. Basically, if you're playing a single player game, especially if it's go from point A to point B to point C to point D, you're probably going to utilize an environment, voice acting, a story once. Unless you are diehard and you're a perfectionist, you continually come back to play the game. Multiplayer game, you create your own story because you're being put into a situation with a group of individuals that will that will be different almost every single time, unless of course you party with the same people. But at the same time, you're still going to have a different outcome, unless you guys are so elite that ain't no one standing in your way. It's cheaper because you're cutting down on cinematics because multiplayer games don't have cinematics. Maybe they have like an intro cinematic of y'all landing in your drop ship.
I totally saw a Battlefield 4 cinematic in robotics class today. I know it exists.
And what was it for? Was it like the end of mission screen, or is it loading into mission screen?
I heard like machine gun noise with a cinematic.
You mean the commercial?
I don't really know. I told him to stop playing it.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, that's the thing, though. The other thing is, like I said, voice acting. Voice acting actually costs a shit ton because you want to get it right. And if you just need generic soldier 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to say just a bunch of random-ass lines that you can then piecemeal together, ta-da! You've saved yourself a shit ton of money.
Yep, and I think there's a perceived glamour because let's just say you're in high school and you're good at coding, right? Like you're a programmer. A lot of them play video games too. Like, man, I want to create the next. We'll just say Battlefield 4. Like, this is a cool game, man. I want to make this. And they do the programming. They get it. They make some blackjack in high school. They get to college and they make one of their games. Like, dude, I could totally do this for a living. And then, to your point, they get to the real world and. They're kind of loved and nurtured in high school and college, mix it out to be all good, life is good, and then they get to the real world. And spit them up and chew them out because, let's be realistic, especially your big companies, they're not in it for the love of the game. It's kind of this
love for the profit.
Love of the profit. Like, there's a perception of gamers that we do it for the love of the game. It's like, that's why we do it. I play video games because I like it. So if
I will say that there are a couple of developers who actually make games because they like those games.
And I feel like, for instance, I still feel like Blizzard is a developer who still, on the backside, they still genuinely want that good feeling about video games when you play it.
However, Activision is whispering in their ear, which kind of screws things up. Diablo 3, online always. Why? If it's a single-player game, let me play the gosh darn game in a fucking storm, okay? Comcast already sucks the left nut, and I'm sure that Verizon and whatever other cable providers or Dish or whatever out there might be cut off. When the internet is gone, I'm not trying to play a multiplayer game. I'm trying to play a single-player game. But by you going, nope, that's stupid.
So what they got to give for Blizzard, shout out, is right now, if you play Overwatch, you can buy a $15 Mercy skin. The thing is, the Mercy skin is for a charity for breast cancer. The key is, if you buy it on the PC, because you're going through the Blizzard marketplace, 100% of your money goes straight towards the charity. Blizzard takes no money off of the top. It all goes straight to charity.
So it's actually a legit charity, unlike some of these other things. Like, yeah, it's really to charity. Okay. However, depending on the state and depending on the country, that money might not actually get to the charity.
No, it's a fully legit. No, it's a legit cancer research, and that's the thing. They're not an advertising cancer foundation. They are legit. That's what they do, is cancer research for breast cancer specifically. Is a big concentration. So that's, if you play, when I saw that, I mean, I'm not one to buy skins on PC games. I'm just like, whatever. But when I saw Mercy skin, I like playing Mercy. All $15 goes to breast cancer. That's a no-brainer to me. I'm like,
yeah.
It's, in a lot of games, to be fair, other games definitely do that. But different to other games, a lot of times when you have these kind of skins that goes towards charity, it's usually like a 50-50 split with the developer and charity or some kind of split down the middle. But with Blizzard, it was 100% towards charity. So I'm like, yes, I can totally do that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. So
I hate buying all the skins.
Look, we keep talking about skins. And this is a question that I ask. And this might be mind-blowing to some or maybe duh moments for others. This is my biggest issue, okay? In a first-person shooter, why the shit would you ever buy a skin? It's a first-person shooter. You don't actually get to enjoy it. Dude, everyone else gets to enjoy it.
You walk around in first-person view. You don't see your Goonies shirt when you walk around, and yet you want to look cool.
I can go like this.
I can do that
Our
when I
game
die in
is
FPS.
Most games don't. Yeah. The fadeaway of like a huge bullet hole in your amazing
You're probably
skin.
gonna die more in an FPS where you can see your skin. Then you're gonna look down at your uni shirt while you're walking around.
No. Shut up. I have the skins in Paladin. I do have the skins in Paladin as well. However, you can switch to third person. So,
Yeah, I don't know like skins. I mean, it's no different.
no,
than
I just find it.
in real life.
I just find it funny, like when you have like Halo or these like these realistic combat games, they put so much emphasis on like your armor and stuff. The vast majority of the time, unless you're dying, which by the way, if you are dying, you're not a good player.
Okay, what is a large part of video games is immersion, right? You're immersing yourself in that role. So if you have a cool skin,
which you can't see.
You can see it when you're previewing your character, so you know that
But
you're
it is-
embracing that skin.
It'd be like look in that analogy. It's like there's an amazing, awesome costume that I see in a window. I don't have to pay for it. I can see it in the window. The preload description preview screen. It's a fucking window. I don't pay for it.
Other people, it's no different than real life walking around in a freaking costume.
Yeah, it is. You're right. You look in the storefront and go, that's a cool costume.
And you buy it. And you do the same thing in a video game. You buy the skin so you walk around in a video game.
But you don't see it in the video game.
Sure I do. Every time I preview it or I die.
You can just keep going back to the store.
Other people see me in that skin too. They look at you and be like, dude, that dude has a badass skin. When they look
that $300 shirt looks real good in a mirror. Yeah.
it's no different like the skin in real life.
Okay. Let's talk about.
I know how to
That is one.
shirt.
Look. To be honest with you, mirrors is one of the most complicated things to do in a video game. Reflection is a biatch.
Yes.
Simply because you have to factor in so many variables, lighting, angle of view, all that shit. That's why the vast majority of mirrors, you don't get to see anything unless you're right on top of it.
And that's why a lot of video games, if you look at the graphical sliders for like performance, they have very specific sliders just for reflection for that reason. To be able to adjust that. Because like you said, it's a whole lot of processing power for your GPU.
Okay, now, I don't know why my brain has gone off on a weird tangent, but since we're talking about weird shit that happens in games, like the mirrors, like, it's a mirror, I should be able to see myself, but you don't see anything. Let's talk about, you're in a horror game. There's a locked door. However, the top third of the door has been ripped off.
Okay.
You still have to find the key, even though technically you could reach right in and unlock the door because there's a hole in the door.
Immersion, man.
Fuck immersion. That's like anti-immersion. It's like, logically, I should be able to just go through this door because it's broken in half. Yet, magically, my hand can't do this.
And yet you play a video game, you got Soldier 76 who has to shoot you 60 times to die, whereas real life, you would die with 2 bullets, not 60.
Look, it's not my problem that every enemy I face is a stormtrooper.
Mm. And they miss you 60 out of 60 times. Yeah, I know.
Who plays for realism? Okay, I think it's certain. I understand, yes, that is a realistic thing. However, I think it's like, I don't know. It just seems stupid, though. Like,
but it depends on your degree of
realism.
No, there's that. I have a mind blank. It's a term of like when you're watching television and something doesn't make logical sense, and there's a very specific
continuity.
No, there's a term for it where it'll come to me.
Okay.
Where basically when suspense of belief.
Yep.
Suspense of belief, and like for instance, let's just take Overwatch for instance.
Okay.
Where yes, okay, it takes it takes Soldier 76 60 bullets to kill me because I'm a damn monkey, right?
Mm-hmm. You're a monkey?
When I play Winston.
Oh, okay.
That's a suspense of belief, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're like, that doesn't make any sense, right? That makes no logical sense. But yet, when a character can walk through a wall that they're not supposed to because like something went wrong, like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. How could that character walk through a wall? They shouldn't be able to. So it's like, it's a very selective, suspensive to belief based on what the developer wants us to believe.
Yeah, but I understand. Like, okay, so here's my issue. I understand you're trying to increase or elongate the experience by allowing for an individual to take more bullets before falling down. However, if a door is cut in half, why do I have to spend 20 minutes finding a fucking key that I can just go?
Maybe your arm's not long enough. Maybe there's a giant spider on the top half.
Why? How do I even have to reach through? I can just jump through the fucking thing. Then again, if you really want to be technical, there are a shit ton of games out there that allow for more of a okay, I'm trying to think of.
Sorry,
there's a ton of games out there that like action adventure games where clearly you should be able to jump over the stair railing. However, there's a magical wall of invisible force that will stop you. Or there's a banister that's literally crumbled to nothing, yet you can't go through that. You have to go around it.
It's like, yes, I mean, you see that in first-person shooters all the time. You can like break railings, and there's like one little peg left. If you try walking in that one little like 2-inch high peg, like you can't move forward. You're like, I can't move forward. What's going on?
Overwatch is make-believe game fiction if based on your imagination. That's true. But to be honest with you, I hope that everyone out there who plays video games realizes that you are utilizing your imagination. Even if it's close to realism, it's still imagination, and it is fiction.
Me, when I'm playing Soldier 76, I'm not firing like a real gun in real life.
No.
Emulate my character as he shoots monkeys.
Unless we're in an Ender's Game situation.
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
There's another one out there. It's kind of Ender's Game, but Armada. Is it Armada? No, it wasn't Armada.
I don't know that one.
No, at the end of the day, I just want to be able to open the fucking door. If it's cut in half, I mean,
that too. It's
opening the damn door. I mean, I understand. Yes, let's make the person awesomely durable to bullets. Cool. Even if you took one right between the eyes. Cool. But let me open a fucking door. It's cut in half. I mean, jeez almighty.
I hear you.
All right. I'm trying to remember what the other topic was that I brought up. I'm blanking. Ladies and gentlemen, give us a topic.
We probably went around in circles about it.
I'm sure we did, but I'm going to try to bring it back up. God, I had a good one. I feel like I had a good one. Did I have a good one?
It's been so long.
It's been so long since I last saw you.
Where'd you last see me?
Upstairs.
Eating
dinner?
What about here?
Well, I mean, you haven't left.
Am I really here?
Oh, God. We're doing this shit again?
I don't know.
Oh, my brain hurts.
Well, why does your brain hurt? Is something wrong with it? I'm just talking reality.
Oh, here it is. All right. So let's say that a developer out there is creating a game, okay? And everyone's getting excited. There's a lot of build. There's a lot of anticipation. And then the developer goes silent on social media, okay? Does that automatically mean the game is dead?
No.
How long of a social media pause would it take for you to consider the game kaput? Or would you have to have it come straight from the developer's mouth that this game is toast?
What makes the game dead? Would be the true question. Because games are never really released in their final edition anymore.
StarCraft Ghost.
Well, okay, that's dead. Because they never even said it existed in the first place.
Project Titan.
Oh, good lord.
I can keep going. Fez 2.
I look for it after 3 months if there are no updates. Unless basically to me the publisher says something, I'm like, whatever.
I think if it's coming out of a studio that's previously created AAA titles, I think that unfortunately you're probably going to have to err on the side of caution, and silence for a year would probably be the death knell.
Well, that's a big issue, especially with like Kickstarters, because they're supposed to do updates, give you information about the game that's going on, and usually, let's be honest, during the Kickstarter phase, they're all great and fantastic because they're
giving you updates every other day
because they want you to give that money. As soon as that 30-day hits and it's done, It's like sometimes you get radio silence, and that's like one of our friends who makes Kickstarters, Craig Campbell, is fantastic. Because even after the Kickstarter is over, you're getting regular updates about the game that you backed, about what's going on. So you know.
Let's not forget our other fan of the show, Eddie Webb, and his games, Pugmire and Monarchies of Mao.
And they're very good about giving those updates. But again, if you look at these guys, though...
Oh, Sean Patrick Fannin as well.
They've done their research. They've talked to other people who've done Kickstarters. And they know that they want to keep coming back to the well again. Like, they made these Kickstarters, and they know darn well that they want to make a Kickstarter down the road. And down the road, and we know that if they screwed the pooch on this Kickstarter, then what do you think is going to happen when they try doing another Kickstarter?
I do want to mention the fact that Craig Campbell, Eddie Webb, and Sean Patrick Fannin, they're all tabletop pencil and paper RPGs. We're not talking about digital video games.
And I think maybe it's a little bit different too, though, because so take our friends, right? They go into that Kickstarter already having made basically the game, like it's there. So they have to update basically publishing routes and all that stuff, right? Whereas video games, yes, I know the idea is they have more of like an actual playable demo by now and stuff, but it seems like what happens a lot of times, they have this Kickstarter. I'm just throwing out a number, right?
Right.
A $100,000 Kickstarter. Hooray! It gets made. It's kickstarted. Life is good. We start, developing the game for reals now. They get a month into the game, and then they realize, like, holy shit, dude, we didn't budget enough money for the game. And it's probably that mentality of like, well, it's better just to see what we can do and just try to develop what we can instead of saying we screwed this up. We don't have enough money, and eventually they just kind of run out of money.
So, okay, case in point, ladies and gentlemen, it would be considered a AAA title. Back in the day, there was a game called Double Fine Adventures, which then became Broken Age, part 1 and part 2. They raised a shit ton of money. I can't remember. I think it was $1.8 million, and they were asking for $400,000. I believe it's what it was. The interesting thing was that they had a serious problem with feature creep when it came to stretch goals, because they kept seeing this money come in. They're like, oh, we could do this now. We can do that now. And to be honest with you, I feel like they literally locked the finance person outside the door and you're just like, I'll toss like this much, right? Let's do this. And what ended up happening was they went through all their money and they barely had an alpha. So what they had to do was that they had to do early access, which is a dirty way of doing things, but sometimes you got to really gauge the I guess the fans' heartbeat or pulse on the game, and then they basically broke it into 2 chapters. If you kickstarted, you got both chapters with your pledge. If you did not, you'd have to buy each chapter separately. But that is, even the biggest names could screw up, especially in digital. At the end of the day, when you do pencil paper RPGs, you kind of already know the mechanics, the requirements that are going to go into. Sure, you might update the art in the book, and it might cost a little bit more. But you're not dealing with issues like unforeseen bugs, or perhaps the developer required an additional licensing to get the game working or something. Or perhaps it ends up being something that's not within their wheelhouse.
I feel like video games are much more unpredictable as far as the final cost versus an RPG. It's kind of
pencil paper RPG.
Yes, very specific pen and pencil in this case, yes. And in a way, maybe they would disagree, but I feel like you can make a fully developed pen and pencil RPG for cheaper than a video game. In that, to create a video game that has stuff, you actually have to have you have to have people probably outside your own expertise to do it.
Right.
Like, you have to have people who can do the developing, you have to have people who can do the art assets, you have to have people who can do the video. Whereas when it comes to a pen and pencil RPG, you can create all the game rules on your own. You can create the story on your own. It might not be top-notch stuff, but
you can create your art on your own.
It might not be top-notch, but you can actually do that stuff on your own. Versus a video game, very rare is a person can actually do all those assets on their own.
It is very rare.
And if they do, it's probably not going to, it's either going to be like the best game ever made because they know how to do it all, but chances are it's probably all going to be half-assed in that case.
True, and that is one of the things, and I absolutely agree that when it comes to pencil and paper RPGs or anything analog gaming, if it's a board game, I mean, literally, you get a piece of cardboard and you can just like draw or doodle on it. You know, grab a couple of index cards or playing cards, and you're on your way. When it comes to a digital game, you're talking about depending on your type of game. Is it a 2D game? Is it a 3D game? If it's a 3D game, that means you have to do modeling. Here's one fun fact about developers. When they're asking for outside help, vast majority of the time are very vague with their requests. And so what ends up happening is you pay someone for something that you're never going to use. Like, this game requires a red demon. And the artist that you selected wants to do like a cherub kind of like cutesy demon with like shiny red horns, but you're looking more for like the horror style demon with big fangs. Well, you have to pay that person for that model that you're not going to be able to use because it doesn't match with your feel and scheme of the game, but you didn't give them enough information. Same deal with audio. Actually, audio is worse because developers do not understand how to be specific with audio. I need more of like an uplifting, like spiritual feel, and then you get like choir music. It's like, I don't want choir music. Like, you said uplifting and spiritual. That's choir.
But I feel like in a way, like a pen pencil RPG lends itself to specificity.
Yep.
Because you've created, like, you already have a world that exists. It's like, let's just take Capers, for instance. Craig Campbell's, 20s era mobster pen pencil RPG.
Go to nerdburgergames.com to find out information about that.
So you create, like, you ask somebody to do this artist for the game. Well, he already has a very strong template in place to tell his artist what to do. I think the other advantage, too, is from a cost perspective, is, like, in his case, he can ask for one piece of art to be like, okay, does this work? Yes, that's what I'm looking for. Now we can create other artwork like that. So it's like one drawing versus, I'm assuming with the animation with video games, it's not quite so simplistic. You have to have more assets than just one simple drawing to really see what the thinking.
Okay, so
which costs more money.
Right. Well, so with a three-dimensional, if you're doing a 3D game, you have to build a three-dimensional model. Okay, and so if you do not get the demon you're expecting, that's a shit ton of money, because in order to create a 3D model, you also have to have all these like movable joints, and it's got to look. It's not like we just like, I'll change this and that, and then ta-da! It's not that easy. 2D might be a little bit easier. However, it's still gonna hurt because you have to deal with every single emotion. When it comes to 2D, it's probably sprite. So it's kind of like that flip book feel, where it's like, my hands are moving like this to run. Whereas with the when you have a pencil and paper RPG or something along those lines, you can actually give reference art. Like, even if you did like a shit-tacular picture of a cowboy on a horse, they would know it's a cowboy on a horse. That's what it is.
Why are we talking about cowboys?
I was just saying that it's much easier to be able to visualize and explain what you want drawn for a pencil and paper RPG than it is for a digital thing. Now, of course, Craig Campbell actually has a very cool and interesting way to take care of a ton of the pictures. And that is, if you pledge enough, your likeness can be in the game. So what that does is it gives the artist further reference material on exactly what the character's supposed to look like, and they just put it in that style.
That's sneaky.
I know it's sneaky.
Smart.
Sneaky smart, though.
Craig's a smart guy.
He is a very smart guy. He's an architect. I mean,
architects are smart people, apparently.
Apparently, I don't know. But yeah, there is a game. So I have been a Kickstarter-aholic. I have kicked the habit almost completely. Well, in the digital game sense, I have kicked the motherfucking habit to like the curb. Fuck that. To Saturn. Okay? It is way
What
far
about when
away.
the rover goes to Saturn?
No, it knocked the Voyager satellite out of orbit.
Ooh, man, that's intense.
I don't touch digital games anymore because I've been screwed so many times. Simply because either, he is an AC Discord. I've been screwed over so many times with digital games, and then also, okay, so case in point, there's a couple games out there that took a shit ton longer to release, but there's a couple instances when it finally came out, it was totally off my radar because I was so sick and tired of getting these updated emails and wasn't paying attention, and now I can't get access to the game because the company's now defunct.
So it's like the digital lifespan of video games that we started out the show talking about.
Yeah. It's like, hey, by the way, I know that you released this 2 years ago, but I never got my key for my copy. Sorry, account no longer exists. Little son of a bitch. But of course, the worst screw over ever had to be the first thing I ever kickstarted on Kickstarter. And that, of course, is the oh my gosh, Scott and Chris show, which was Chris Straub and Scott Kurtz, two really funny webcomic artists, and they decided to make a little web series. And they did. The problem was that the production studio who was doing the web series was actually in charge of the Kickstarter. And there was a huge falling out just after the DVD of the web series was released. And so the production company goes, deuces, guys, we fucking hate you. And they took the entire information on all the pledges. So there are individuals out there whose pledge was for more than just the fucking DVD. And I will never see any of that because they don't know if I really pledged that much or not.
I'm really expecting, like, 10 years from now, you'll just get, like, something random in the mail from them. Like a postcard.
Well, if it is 10 years down the line, it's going to go to a place that I have not lived at in over 5 years.
So is it time to talk about Patreon?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you about an amazing thing called Patreon. Patreon is a way for you, the viewers, the fans, the amazing people out there, to help Altered Confusion in a slightly financial way. That's not slightly, it is a financial way. Basically, it is a pledge or donation system. Every single month, whatever amount that you've pledged goes to Altered Confusion to help us with the upkeep of our equipment, perhaps the upgrading of certain pieces of equipment, as well as help cushion the cost of conventions, specifically around electrical costs. Speaking of which, I need to see if we've actually got a specific table down so I can pay for the electricity for MomoCon. But any denomination above $1 would be awesome. Of course, like I said, all this money goes to Altered Confusion to help us do more stuff. Now, of course, if for some reason Patreon really isn't your jam, there are several different ways that you also can do it. If you're still looking for a financial option, we also have a one-time PayPal thing where I believe there's a donate now button. If you're watching this on Twitch, it's probably right down below somewhere. If you're not watching this on Twitch and you're probably watching this on YouTube or on our own website, www.alteredconfusion.com, there is a donate now button on the website. So you can also send beer and alcohol directly to Charlie. No, you cannot. You can send Mountain Dew directly to Charlie. I will give you the P.O. Box number as soon as I remember it. I'm just going to Google that. But basically, if you're not looking to give Altered Confusion in a monetary sense, but you still want to help out, there are a ton of things you could do to help out. The first thing is to spread the good word. If you think that if there's something about Altered Confusion that you like, share it. If we've posted something, and I really love the fact that you like it or you favorite it, but let's go an additional step. Let's also repost it so that all the individuals out there get to learn about it. And of course, that in turn helps us out. And ladies and gentlemen, just in case you are listening to the audio version of this, if you want to send anything to Altered Confusion, you can do so to the following address: 1551 Dunwoody, that's DUNWOODY, Village Parkway. Number 88276. Dunwoody, Georgia, 30338.
Is this P.O. Box big enough to send Mountain Dew to?
Yes, absolutely. There's a package over there that I'm going to open up soon. You know what? Screw it. Give me that package.
Or not?
Huh? Oh shit.
I don't know if I can hear it for some reason.
Yeah, go grab that. Go grab that package. We'll open it up right here, right now. We did receive a package to the P.O. Box, and I'll open it right here, right now, on the show. To kind of close the show out. So this package comes from, what is it called? Teespring? No, TeePublic. It's a custom T-shirt company. And if I remember right, I believe this is going to be from Imagination. Oh, we're focusing in and out. Okay. Apparently it's going too far.
Focus, you can do it.
All right, so there are there's two shirts in here? Or one shirt? Two shirts in here. All right, the first one is...
Enter the Fui?
Yeah, it's Kung Fui. It's the old cartoon, the with the dog who's like a ninja, a karate master in disguise.
Yes, he is.
And then the other one is, oh yeah,
Fear no beer. I approve of this message.
I do too. And of course, that once again is from Imagination. That's MAJA Nation. NATION.
I have heard of that before.
Yeah, it was an artist that we saw at Canuga.
Yes. Okay.
He also wrote. He's made a bunch of stuff, awesome art. But he also did a book called Vampire and the Zombie, which is basically the tortoise and the hare, but a little darker, because both the vampire and the zombie want to have this camper that's camping in the woods for dinner. Frogman t-shirt like Z. Anyways, it's not Frogman, it's Proto-Man. Anyways, let me think here. So we talked about Patreon. Let's go over all of our social media stuff. So real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to follow us on Facebook,
go to Facebook and Google Altered Confusion.
If you'd like to subscribe to our YouTube channel,
Altered Confusion LLC.
If you're interested in somehow not knowing that where the Twitch channel is,
just go to twitch.tv/Altered Confusion.
And of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you're interested in our Twitter feed,
at Altered Confusio, because the N would
break the internet.
Oh no.
And ladies and gentlemen, I do want to put one other thing and that is, ladies and gentlemen, finally, I have separated my personal Instagram from Altered Confusion Instagram. So if you go on Instagram, it is Altered Confusion, and that will take you straight to our Instagram.
Or you can see mine, which is just my cat.
Rose the cat.
It's pretty straightforward. There's a cat. That's all you see.
There's a cat.
Yes.
Cat. So if you don't like cats, don't follow him.
But you should like cats. I'm just saying. If you're watching the show, it's part of the deal.
No. No, it's not a requirement.
It is to me.
But it's not for me.
If you don't like cats, I don't want to know. How's that?
Keep it to yourself.
Ignorance is bliss.
So once again, ladies and gentlemen, MomoCon is happening next week, and that, of course, is May 20... Oh, God. I forgot already. It is May 24th through the 27th. It will be... it'll be something of awesomeness. This is the Georgia World Congress Center. You can go to momocon.com, MOMOCON.com, to find out more information. We hope to see you there, if possible. And of course, I will be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I will be media, so you might see me as this fast-moving blur. But hopefully Zealeus and Jesse and maybe another individual will be manning the Alter Confusion table so that you get to talk to either them or perhaps find a way to try to flag me down just in case I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off. So, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, we've reached the end of our show. I know it is very stressful and slightly sad that we have to do this, but ladies and gentlemen, it is that time. Zealeus' master is calling him to return home. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I would like to thank everyone for tuning in to the Alter Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. It has been a pleasure giving you everything coming out of our heads, our mouths, of course, our hearts. We'll be back. We have to figure out next Thursday for the Thursday Night Hangout. I, of course, will be streaming at least this coming Sunday and Tuesday, and then I have no effing clue what's going to happen next. So follow us on any of our social media stuff, and of course, follow. Not only subscribe to the channel, but also make sure that notification button is turned on so that as soon as we get on, you'll know. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.